Have you ever experienced a disconnect or even lost your counterpart or your audience in an important conversation? Well, you're not alone, and you're certainly not an exception. This happens quite frequently. Based on my work with many professionals and leaders and organizations, I found that this is the most common issue of disconnect and challenges between cultures and functional areas. It happens in many organizations, large or small, and also in different levels, in seniority, in different cultures, and also in different situations and phases in our career. Recently, I worked with a senior manager in a high-tech organization. He was struggling with communication. In fact, during the annual performance review and the 360 feedback process, he got some very, let's say, challenging feedback. People could not follow him, and his manager asked him to work on his communication skills. She told him that she had difficulties connecting with him and following him, and she would like for him to come to the point much more quickly. There was no question that he had the technical competence and expertise. But leading his team across different locations and functional areas was a challenge for him. When I started to work with him, I suggested what I often do in working with a client, which is to work on a specific situation. And often we practice new systemic approaches with a role play, for example. So I asked him about a typical situation or a most common question that he receives. And he chose to work on a most recent critical client situation. I took the role of his manager and I asked him a short question about the situation and what he's going to do. He was going off on a really long explanation, and several times I felt that he completely lost me, or I lost the attention in following the story. And when he finally explained what he wanted to do, I really had difficulty connecting it to the context, and I had lost the attention. In the next round, I asked him to turn it around, to start with a recommendation, and then provide the rationale, and only ask the counterpart if she or he wants to have more details. So we practiced that several times. Then he committed to try this out in his very next conversation with his manager, and the feedback from the manager came promptly. She said that, and that's what he relayed to me, I'm not sure what exactly is different, but it feels much better this way. So let's keep it up and let's continue working and communicating this way. And here's the key takeaway from a systemic perspective. We need to be mindful and aware of what the other person and what my counterpart needs and what she or he is missing in the conversation. And then we start with that first. Providing what the other person needs keeps the exchange in balance, keeps the relationship growing. And secondly, we need to develop our cultural awareness. People in different cultures have a different way of communicating and connecting with each other. And that is very important, especially in this modern world where we have the chance to work with people in different cultures and time zones. And last but not least, try a simple approach. If it's not working, try the exact opposite to see what is happening in your relationship. So I wish you good luck with your communication and let me know what works for you. You can also leave a voice message for this podcast. To follow for more, simply subscribe to the podcast. It's free. Good luck.